guys. What about those short and sweet videos? I always hate it when people say you get what you pay for. In other words, you got to spend a piss load of money to get high quality. That's often true, but not always true. Here's a perfect example. If you own a crop sensor camera, doesn't matter if it's a 3000 series, 5000 series, Nikon D500, also too. You say, well, this is a DX, and I don't recommend DX lenses. There's really only 3 DX lenses that I recommend. Only 3. One of them's a 10.5 millimeter Nikkor fisheye. The other one is, was it the 35 millimeter 1.8? Yeah, because it's really cheap and it's a generic all-purpose lens. Like, it's cheap, it's awesome. It's also a cheaply made lens, but at least it has a little metal lens mount. But of all time, this is, even in FX lenses, and this is not an FX lens, it's a DX crop. This is why a lot of people ignore this lens, and they're really stupid for doing so. Even if you use this lens on a full-frame camera, a Nikon like a D850, D750, you'll actually encounter basically no vignetting up until about f4 or f2.8, and also at the only at the far ends, like between 17 millimeter and 20, and between like 40 millimeters and 55. This is a 17 to 55, 2.8 fixed G series Nikkor. Is that AFS, not G series? Excuse me. Just a silent wave motor. It's the AFS Nikkor. Excuse me. I said G series. I got 2 of these lenses. Why did I say G series? I've had too much caffeine this evening. Anyway, actually the lens, and my other copy of this lens, is filming me right now on a Nikon D500. So every video I make is actually using this lens. This is the Epic Tatas, the crotch melting perfection, silk section sugar. You cannot throw your money and find a better deal. Most of these average between $450 and $500 used. They still make this lens. You know the reason why? Nikon's been making this lens for a long damn time. The only reason Nikon's still making this lens is because it is freaking incredible. But do not buy a new one, because a new one costs a crap load of money. However, lucky you, they've been making this lens for a long time. Means there's a lot of them out there. And B, the fact that it is a DX lens, a lot of people ignorantly ignore it. But this lens is the epic tits. It's just flat out the tits. I seriously mean, there's no way you could throw your money, $500 at this lens, and be unhappy. The construction is perfect. The autofocus speed is perfect. It is a true all-metal, all-made in Japan, silent wave, ring drive motor lens, Nikkor lens. Incredibly well made. A 10 out of 10 in build, construction, quality, output, an epic lens. The only issue that you could possibly encounter out of this is that since this lens has been around for a long time, there are more than a few refurbished ones. And I've been contacted by a couple people like, oh my god, I'm about to use one, it's crappy. It turns out it's just poorly refurbished by Joe Schmo in his camera shop who took it apart to fix it. Because the lens has been around a long time. And there's some out there that have been heavily abused, and some died, and someone took them apart incorrectly and reassembled them incorrectly. But that's really the only thing you have to watch out for, is you get it from a reputable place where you know that you could return it if there's an issue. Like buying, right now I saw a couple of these for sale at Used Photo Pro for $500. You get a warranty with them. But I don't care. And I hate DX lenses. I don't recommend buying DX lenses. But this lens is so damn good. I mean, I flat out mean it. This lens is so damn good, I recommend this to anybody and everybody. I don't have a DX crop sensor camera. So what? Like on the Nikon D850 in crop mode, it's exactly the same thing as a Nikon D500, 20 megapixels. This lens is incredible. The 17 to 55 2.8 lens is incredible. For $450 to $500 used, there's not a chance in hell, period, you're going to find a better, high-quality, fast, amazing lens than the 17 to 55 Nikkor. Well, that's your opinion. It's like, yeah, I have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of lenses. I don't sell anything. Whatever you buy, I don't make a dime. Yeah, I've reviewed a few more lenses than everybody else combined, so maybe that means something. Anyway, it's the 1755 AFS Nikkor, all metal, all made in Japan, absolutely the cat's ass. Silk, sex, and sugar, pure perfection. I don't recommend DX lenses, but because this one is so incredible, it gets my highest recommendation, period. Did I mean that? Oh yes. Every video of my ugly face is using this lens on a D500. This lens is perfectly fine on a full frame camera. Yeah, it is. Well, it's a DX lens. Doesn't it vignette a lot? Not really. Actually, the circle of projection is so large on this really high quality lens, you'd be surprised how almost no vignetting exists when you actually take this DX lens and stick it on a full frame camera. And yes, I've tested that many times. So you can take my word for it, test it yourself, don't believe me. So anyway, I don't make a dime either way. If you like these videos, you could always drop a dime or a buck or tell me to jump off a cliff, whatever makes you happy, whatever, whatever tickles your pickle. I just want you to be happy. Save money, get awesome stuff for cheap. There's not much better when it comes like, I'm going to get something really awesome for really cheap, and that's exactly what this lens is. Okay? Enough said. Short and sweet. Boom. Peace out, Girl Scout.